Your flavor quite Isaac. Me were London market. Me ye juma me sasa bi die na ebro. Me ye ebro wo kai mu bi die wo kai mu. Na me use phone. Phone na me use no de ye juma pa. Ai na nkrofo hia me a. O mo de frɛ me. Ye tumi frɛ mo Tama station. Nungwa tashi labad achimota me koyi load. Ejuma me ye no obi a hia me a. O frɛ me e wo phone so. Nti me phone ya ade bia me nkonja no ebu kura me niska kura me tumitiwa na matiane me phone e bele me pick ya na sikwe size ejuma be pio achi moto na ma flabo estam ni o me yejo no na yakoyi ye kokoyi kura na se we nye skin twa ya kakura ye betumi aba obetumi da send mo mobile money mobile phone help me wa
known as the Chamber Dialogue. Every other month, we try to bring experts to touch on some key topics of importance to you, some key topics that are affecting you. And today we are looking at educating you in ways by which you can protect yourself when it comes to the SIM swap fraud or other fraud topology. So this conversation is going to be in two parts. The first part, I will be talking to a very good friend of the chamber, Mr. Anthony Tichi, Customer Service Manager at MTN, on the matter of SIM swap fraud. Now, after his session, we will also engage Masood Turi Abdurazak of Airtel Tigo to talk about other fraud typologies. So we are going to have a very nice conversation. Do well to stick and stay and learn, because you could pick up a thing or two that could save you and also save you some money. So we're going to go for a very short break. When we return, I will introduce my first guest and then we'll dive straight into the conversation.
Julia, please make sure it gets to the ministry before 3 p.m.
Yes, madam.
Okay. Hello, Julia. Yes, please, I need those files we worked on yesterday. Yes, and please be fast about it. Okay. Yes, hello? Yes. Yes. What? My son, what? Which hospital? Yes, I'm on. I'll be there right now. Okay. Please, I'll let my PA send it to you right now. 300 Ghana. Okay, please, number. All right. Okay. Okay. 0548 24 42 42. Okay. All right. Julia, please, there's an emergency. I have to go to junior school right now. They say he just collapsed and I'm even confused. God, please, take this money, eh? Go across the street and take this number and send the money. Please be fast about it, I'm begging.
Madam, are you sure?
Please! Julia, my son is sick. I have to get to the school. What are you telling me?
Madam, please calm down. This just doesn't feel right.
What doesn't feel right?
I mean, can you call someone? Anyone else at the school and find out if he's okay? Please. It wouldn't hurt to try.
Okay, if you say so. Oh, my son. Please. Oh, pick this up. Yes, hello. Miss Ofori. I'm fine. Yes, I just want to inquire about Junior. Yes. He's fine? He's playing. Okay, please, can I speak with him? Hello, Junior. Oh, my baby. Mommy loves you. Mommy is going to buy you a car, okay? Okay, dear. Take good care of yourself. Bye.
Madam, I told you.
Julia, you should open a church and I will be the first member.
It's easy to become a victim of mobile money fraud. Be careful or you lose all your money.
Thank you very much. Let me call this man again. Yes, hello. Oh, so you are still waiting for the money. Look at this thief. If it is money you wanted, you should have just told me. Foolish man.
Don't lose guard. Be smart. Don't become a victim of mobile money fraud. Stay safe.
You are welcome to another edition of the Chamber Dialogue, and as we said, we are all about educating you and equipping you with the information and tools you need to, protect yourself. As you saw in the ad that played, it's not always, or you should not always fall victim to fraudsters who call you, basically threatening you and giving you cause for concern about incidents about your family members. Some could be true, but you always have to do your checks first before you send any money or part with any valuable. So today's conversation is around protecting yourself from SIM swap fraud as well as other fraud technology. So the first conversation is going to be had with Mr. Anthony Tichi. He's the manager for customer service at MTN. Welcome, sir, to today's edition of the Chamber.
Thank you. Thanks for having me, Bobby.
Now, the fraudsters are hungry, they are angry, they are just going all out, defrauding innocent Ghanaians. Now, for me, one key issue is SIM swap fraud.
Yeah.
You hear it, but not a lot of people get it. So tell me, what is SIM swap fraud?
Okay. So SIM swap or SIM replacement, others also call it SIM change. It's actually, if you look at it critically, it's a service that mobile network operators provide to their customers. So a customer has lost the phone, or the SIM card is damaged, or the customer in some instances need a resizing of their SIM, depending on the device they want to use. Will come to the MNO and ask for a SIM change or swap. So it's a process where the MNO places the phone number on another SIM for the use of the authorized user. Now, in terms of fraud, what fraudsters do is to use unauthorized means. Sometimes they use social engineering to get the MNOs to move another person's number onto a SIM card that they're holding, so they gain access to the SIM card. And that is only the foundation to a lot of other fraud that happens, because once the fraudster has the SIM, then he can perform other transactions, and mostly it's financial.
Okay. So we're going to get into how a SIM swap manifests itself. Yeah. But basically, what you're saying is, if I have my SIM, and not you, but if person A has their SIM, someone else can gather information about them. If it's Ama, for example, or Koku, so someone can gather information about Koku, his password, his date of birth, his name, his favorite thing, and then call MTN, Airtel, Tigo, or Vodafone and say, even though I'm not Koku, they will say, okay, they'll pretend they are Koku.
Yes.
So that Koku's SIM is changed or transferred onto another
SIM which they have, or which they will be given. So that is the general way by which this process go. But I think we go into how this can be.
Yeah, so they basically pretend they are you.
Yes.
And then get them to say, oh, I've lost my phone or they've stolen my phone. So my SIM, can you please move it on to something?
Exactly.
Okay. So now for you, how does it manifest itself in terms of some of the dangers of SIM swapping?
Okay. So once a fraudster gains access to your SIM card, and you know today our SIM cards are connected to our businesses, so people receive phone calls,
your bank accounts, Facebook,
phone calls. They do negotiations on their phones. Yeah. So that alone, if the fraudster gains access to your SIM card, it means that you will not have those calls or SMS coming in.
So if anybody calls me, my family member is calling me, it won't come to my phone again.
Exactly. The fraudster would answer that.
Wow.
Again, many of us have also linked SIM cards to financial institutions, banks. Now we have a lot of bank apps that operate on the SIM card when it's in the phone. And so you can easily do bank transactions when you have that a SIM card.
Yeah.
And again, when the fraudster has some information regarding your bank and the passwords to these banking apps. Mobile money is also resident on SIM cards. So, and other people also may have credit card information that when the fraudsters get your SIM, they will have that kind of information. Apart from even the financial gains, social media platforms are also connected to the SIM cards. So for a fraudster who wants to do damage to you in terms of reputation,
on Facebook,
Twitter, or any of these platforms, even on WhatsApp, because in some cases we've heard of fraudsters sending messages to close contacts of their victims, providing some information that may damage their reputation or soliciting for financial assistance and so on. So it is financial, but we need to also look at the reputational damage that comes with gaining access, unauthorized access to people's SIM cards.
So just to break it down, so I wouldn't say Masood, but Abdul is sitting somewhere in, let's say, the Savannah region. Yeah. He's going all about his business, and then a fraudster can call his network and say, I am Abdul, even though they are not. My date of birth is so and so, and I want to change my SIM because I lost my phone in a river.
Yes.
If they have enough information about you, they can answer all the questions that the telcos would ask them, the security questions.
Yes.
And then successfully have it transferred.
Yes, exactly. But it depends on the mode and channels over which these changes are allowed by the MNOs and what kind of protocols or requirements that needs to be fulfilled before these are done. So in principle, this is how it goes, but it doesn't mean that these fraud cases happen on all the channels. For instance, the example you made by a call doesn't mean that when I call my MNO and ask for a SIM change to be done, immediately that happens. So for most MNOs, you need to visit.
So I'll come to the protocols as to what you need to successfully do
the requirements.
SIM swap. SIM swap. So now, in Ghana, as we have it, we are about 31 million, 32 million. About 40 million people have SIMs.
Yeah.
You know, we are 30, so some people have double SIMs and the likes. And so, day in and day out, if you're watching, you might think that, okay, your phone is safe, but there are fraudsters out there who are doing all they can to move your phone away or swap your SIM. So they could call someone and say, okay, my name is, Obiel, say, and I've lost my phone. So can you, I bought a new SIM. Can you swap to this number? Then they would ask me some questions or go through some protocols and then have that done. Once that is done, people have linked their Facebooks to their their SIMs, such that the Facebook, even if you enter your name and your password, they might tell you they will send a text to your SIM for you to access.
Yes.
But once that person has taken over Bobie's SIM, if they send a text, it won't come to me. It will go to them.
To the fraudster,
then they can get into my Facebook, my Twitter, and then WhatsApp, and be sending people messages to call people and be like, I need money and that kind of thing. So that's how it works. Now, how troubling is it in these days? Is it something that's on the rise? You know, is it and what are some of the damages it's done to customers?
Yes, it's actually on the rise. Fraudsters are getting very smart about it. They are using all manner of ways to gather information, because remember, before they don't just attack anyone. They would attack people they have information on, so that it makes it easy for them to transact or perform the damages they intend to. So we've had cases where people have reported of losing money from their bank accounts.
Wow.
Or observing transactions on their apps.
Wow.
That they did not authorize. We've also seen situations where certain posts have been made on people's social media accounts, and it didn't come from them. You know, so like I said from the beginning, it could be financial, but it could also be very reputational, especially for people who are in very important places and who certain things may not be linked to them. This process, depending on what the objective,
They
can
not
cause
want
these
money.
damages. They may not want money.
Cause reputational damage.
Exactly.
Wow. So that's sometimes you're on Facebook and you hear, oh, someone's account has been hacked. Yeah. Sometimes that could be there. Or you're on a WhatsApp platform, and then a number you know would be posting some things about some investments. It's possible that they have been hacked.
Yes.
And how much money? Someone might be sitting down and be like, oh, maybe not much is being lost. But I know from my research that people have lost $200,000 because their accounts have been swapped outside.
Yeah.
In Ghana, from your experience within the industry, how much are people losing? Is it 1 city, 2 city, 3 city?
Yeah, of course, the fraudsters will not go through all this, because remember, there are several attacks, but only very small percentage of these volumes in terms of attacks get successful. So they are not going to attack for 1 city. I may not be able to provide an industry volume in terms of how much money I've lost, but there's been reported cases of people losing significant amount of money from various financial institutions or mobile money, or even suffering some reputational damages. So you see a lot of people posting on social media that 3 days ago there was a post like this, please know that it's not it didn't come from me, and my account was hacked. Sometimes it starts from the swapping or unauthorized swapping of the SIMs by these people.
You use the word unauthorized, which means that we need to educate people that within the system, the telecommunication system, there is authorized SIM swaps, or there are authorized SIM swaps.
Of course.
People have genuine reasons why they will do swaps.
Exactly.
So that happens, right?
Exactly. So as I indicated in my intro, it's a service.
Yeah.
So if my phone gets missing, for instance, I would need a new SIM of my same number. If the SIM gets damaged, I would need a replacement of the SIM bearing the same number. If I need to resize, and these days a lot of the MNOs already have this pre-sizes, so it's a thing of the past for now. But hitherto, it was the ish. If you buy a device and you need that minute micro SIM, you need to resize.
So that's for those who are moving from YAMs to very expensive phones.
Yeah, and sometimes certain tablets also requires the bigger types.
Yes.
And if you have the micro one, you need to resize. So there are genuine reasons why people request for a SIM swap, and this happens in most MNOs on a daily basis, because people lose their SIMs, for whatever reason. So it is the unauthorized access to another person's SIM, which is the fraudulent part of SIM swap, because SIM swapping alone by name is not a negative thing. You understand? So that's basically what it is.
Now, some might be sitting down and saying, well, it's the fault of the MNOs, it's the fault of MTN, it's the fault of Airtel, it's the fault of Vodafone. They'll say you're not doing enough to protect people. I mean, anyone can call, and then if they have some information about me, they end up transferring my number to themselves, and then they perpetrate all sorts of evil. So what kind of processes do you have in place to ensure that you the SIM swaps are not the unauthorized types. Yes. I mean, generally.
Yeah. So, I mean, industry-wise, every MNO has requirements. So, first of all, and it's not just about SIM swap. For every service provision that requires authentication of the customer, and for the protection of the customer's identity and information, we require that the customer produces an ID. And today it's a bit easy because we are going towards, or we are almost there, where we're using just one ID type, the Ghana card. So it makes it a bit simpler. Hitherto there were different IDs that could be used for the registration. So
but still now, if I have other IDs, would they do a SIM swap for me?
Yes, if you're not registered, and that ID can also be authenticated or validated. But of course, we would advise you that in the next one day, you won't be able to use your SIM if you don't get the Ghana card to regularize. Yeah. So this is actually how it works. You have to produce an ID that authenticates you, that provides proof that the documentation or the KYC information we have of you is the same as you're providing per the ID, and that the ID is valid and it has the same KYC information and the picture that exists on that card with what we have. That way, to a certain large extent, the user or the requester of the SIM swap will be known to be the authorized owner of the SIM, for which reason the SIM swap or any other service that is required with them. When it happens over the online, digital, maybe, yes, sometimes I know some MNOs also run video calls to ensure that we are speaking to the right person and we can authenticate the picture. Apart from the authentication, the KYC information with the registering database, we can also match the picture of the person who is requesting for the SIM swap against the picture on the account, or in terms of the ID card.
This happens in Ghana, video calls by the MNOs?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
Because, so
oh, yes,
what if someone is calling from Ningo Pram, you know, I mean, it's in Greater Accra, but up north with a feature phone, I mean, and there's no video facility. How do you verify?
Yeah, so there are various platforms for different people. So for those who have the data-enabled handsets, of course, they will use the digital channels and the social media channels to do that. You can't do that using the feature phones. Yeah. So for such people, they may have to move to the MNO's authorized agent. And there are several branches, and in some MNOs also have authorized dealers who accept physical visits and authentication of these to happen.
But I know some people who say they've sat in their house and have been able to successfully swap their SIMs without going to the agents or the MNOs.
And it wasn't also through the online channels?
It was just by a call.
A phone call? Yeah, well, like I said, there are several MNOs with different requirements over the channels. So I wouldn't say that may not happen,
yes,
but I may not be able to speak to the various requirements that must happen before that also happens.
But so currently all the MNOs have systems in place or are improving their systems to ensure that the SIM swaps that happen are the genuine ones and not the unauthorized ones.
Of course, and I'm sure when we gather an industry volume in terms of the number of people who do SIM swap per day is very high.
Yeah.
And is one of the top visit reasons for the various branches, why people go to the branches. SIM swap is high. So yes, once in a while you have one or two happening that is unauthorized, but even that, the details must be investigated and we see where the gaps are. Because these attacks, like I mentioned, would happen on people that the fraudsters have information on. If they don't know your name, they won't be able to attempt. If they don't know how easy it is to get into your bank apps, for instance, if they don't have information on your username or password on your bank app or your mobile money app, it will be very difficult for them to just attack.
Okay. So now we're going to get into the reason why we're having this conversation. For the ordinary Ghanaian watching out there, what clear things can they do to make sure they protect themselves from having their SIM swap?
Okay, so what the ordinary Ghanaian needs to do is that, and we need to be very proactive in this to ensure that SIM swaps are prevented, or even when they happen, the damages are minimal. Okay. So first of all, once a fraudster gets access to your SIM, it means that you stop receiving calls. It means that you may not be able to use your phone to make calls or transact the normal way. So if you see that your phone is not working, it's important that you make this report to your MNO.
So they call...
First of all, you can call if you are not in a position to visit the service center or the MNO's office. I'm sure we all know the various channels through which to make the calls.
I think 100 across.
100 across. So you can even place that call to place a request to block your SIM until such a time that you are able to visit and get a replacement of the SIM. That way, even if it happened in terms of the SIM swap, the unauthorized SIM swap, if it happens, you would have prevented the subsequent transactions that may have occurred, or that the fraudsters in their minds would have purported to do.
So that's one.
That is one.
Make sure that if your service is acting up, you're not able to make calls or receive messages, get in touch with your service provider, yes, or make a call to take some action.
Exactly.
Yes.
So the second thing too that I would advise is that sometimes these fraudsters, before they effect their fraudulent act, they would want to push your focus away from what you're going to do. So you start receiving calls from people talking about things that you have nothing about, you know nothing about. And sometimes the calls keep coming just to take your attention off what they are going to do. So if you start receiving calls incessantly, I mean, a lot of calls happening, and you do not understand why this is happening, it's also important that you alert your MNOs and place a note on your account that no SIM swap should happen on this account, or just notify them for them to take some preventive actions.
So you shared two. Do you have more to share?
Again, remember that the fraudsters don't attack anyone. They will attack you when they have information. So it's important for us to also be vigilant in the way we provide our information. These days, people put all manner of things on social media.
Date of birth, their phone numbers, everything.
Yes, and sometimes you'll be amazed how people even keep their ID cards.
Wow.
So when people have your ID card, they have your KYC information, and then you can start planning on what else to do. So it's important that we keep our information, our personal information, safe,
and secure, because
the fraudsters will use phishing methods and sometimes social engineering to gather bits and pieces of information on you from different platforms, and then they can connive with other people to hit. So I believe that if we do these three, we should be
fine.
Yes. And for the MNOs, if I may,
yes,
I think we've seen a lot of improvement in terms of the verification platforms, the customer authentication platforms that these MNOs use in establishing the identity and ownership of their customers. So it's important that we keep on improving these processes to ensure that they are tight and they are safe. Because first of all, we have a responsibility towards keeping the customer's account safe and protecting the customer information, and also avoiding the unauthorized access to customer information in customer accounts.
Wow. Interesting. So, I mean, if you didn't take anything away, just remember that the fraudsters are on the loose, and they will make all types of attempts to get access to your SIM, swap your SIM, get access to your social media accounts or bank accounts. If they are not taking your money, they are causing you some harm to your reputation, and that some reputation, some damages, are very hard to actually recover from. So protect your data. Make sure you're not sharing so much data out there. Protect, your ID cards and all other forms of, identification very, very well. The other thing, he basically mentioned that if you see that your network is not working well, or you're not getting service, make sure you get in touch with your MNO. And dial 100 100 to MTN and Airtel, Tigo and Vodafone. You will get help. And also, if you get incessant calls, people are calling you left, right, and center from places you do not know. Make sure you get in touch with your MNO as well. So, like I said, this is the first part of the conversation with Mr. Anthony Techi, Customer Service Manager at MTN. 20 minutes is not enough to discuss fraud, but at least we've gotten that message across. Be careful out there. The fraudsters are out there. They are acting. And you should also protect yourself, your family, and your valuable. So thank you so much. Unless you have something final you want to, tell customers out there. Yeah, thanks for having me, Bobby, once again. So just to conclude, we should always be very vigilant and protect our information. And if for any reason you suspect that your SIM card is not working, you don't have to wait a day to get this reported or get a replacement of your SIM, because the fraudsters may be transacting or may be causing other damages. So just act immediately to find out that your SIM is not working. Thank you. Thank you so very much. Thanks for having me. Grateful. Thanks, man. All right, so this is the Chamber Dialogue. Today we are sharing tips and information with which you can use to protect yourselves from having your SIM swapped, or even if your SIM is swapped, how to recover fast so you don't lose so much. And also, the next conversation we're about to have with someone from Airtel Tigo will be about other fraud types that are emerging and how you should protect yourself. My name is Bobby Osei. You're watching the Chamber Dialogue coming from the Ghana Chamber of Telecommunications. We'll be right back.
Fellow Ghanaians, to easily check the number of SIM cards registered to your Ghana card, please use the shortcode *402*1#. You can follow the following steps to find out how many SIM cards are registered to your Ghana card. Step 1. Dial the shortcode *402*1# on any network. Step 2. Enter your Ghana card PIN. Make sure you enter letters and figures without any spaces or hyphens for verification, just like this. Step 3. Make sure you enter your date of birth in numbers with the day followed by the month and the year you were born in without any spaces or hyphen for verification, just like this. Step 4. Once verified, you will receive an SMS with a list of mobile numbers linked to your Ghana card, including the corresponding networks. Now, if you identify any unknown mobile number or numbers linked to your Ghana card, please visit the service center or retail shop of your service provider for a delinking of the number or numbers. For more information, call 100 on all networks or NCA on 0800 110 622. Remember to register your SIM cards before the 31st of May 2023 to avoid being deactivated from your network. This message is brought to you by the Ghana Chamber of Telecommunications with information provided by the NCA. The shortcode *402*1#. You can follow the following steps to find out how many SIM cards are registered to your Ghana card. Step 1. Dial the shortcode *402*1# on any network. Step 2. Enter your Ghana card PIN. Make sure you enter letters and figures without any spaces or hyphens for verification, just like this. Step 3. Make sure you enter your date of birth in numbers with the day followed by the month and the year you were born in without any spaces or hyphen for verification, just like this. Step 4. Once verified, you will receive an SMS with a list of mobile numbers linked to your Ghana card, including the corresponding networks. Now, if you identify any unknown mobile number or numbers linked to your Ghana card, please visit the service center or retail shop of your service provider for a delinking of the number or numbers. For more information, call 100 on all networks or NCA on 0800 110 622. Remember to register your SIM cards before the 31st of May 2023 to avoid being deactivated from your network. This message is brought to you by the Ghana Chamber of Telecommunications with information provided.
Hello.
Hello! Mami ni o London.
Mambe.
Oh, me. Umame, you're London, no.
Auntie Becky, Anna.
Hey, be so unkind. Hey, what to say? Ayo, me who watch no be what to say with you.
Oh, Yamia Domobia Hoy, and I also.
Ah, you done Yamiasi. Hey, but so why your mommy penny?
Oh, and I made us.
Hey, baby, madam for be bagana.
Hey, sir.
Me John, I'm a surprise.
Sir?
Aye. Shoe size ben now, she.
38.
Oh, me tall 40 close.
Oh, and then your case with me, Ashe.
Oh, sir.
Hey.
Natari.
And this size 12.
Hey, I didn't even know
Oh, really?
Madam for no bedroom Ghana 4 days new.
Okay.
It's make a chance on for what? Me money kaka.
Hey, that's Becky.
Tiny shoes in Kwa. It's a cribishimu. And more be on Sati.
Matilda. And one near.
Over for a while.
You want to say? I'm sure.
Yo, bye-bye.
Bye. Hey.
Where Gina? What does you no confirm with Bona? I've been calling you, sir. I'm not picking a call.
I was on a call. Do you know what has happened?
I don't know. Me.
See that my auntie that I said that she's in London like 15 years now. I've not heard from her. She just called me.
Where did you go and sleep?
Ask me. I don't even know.
Is she coming to take you?
No. But she's sending us things.
No, wait.
Why have you stopped?
Wait. Gina. Nego auntie, when she called you, did she mention any other person's name?
I don't remember anything like that. But how does that matter?
Matter so. Use Moicho. This is the new way people are using to fraud people.
Fraud?
Yes.
Are you sure?
Come on, go me like am I sure?
Wait, they said the person will call me in 5 minutes time.
Yo, boy, about what they want you can't manage and me yo ya. Not gonna waste my time.
Wait, there's a talking. Hello? Yes, this is Gina. My auntie say you're bringing me the things.
Your mama nyama se me fama.
Intimate and your mano.
Oh, me will be a year yet deliver mammy intimate nyama nyaba mano. Not the bishia why.
Ah, okay, with us.
Would they menyako? Mamma for back.
Yo, I should have seen this viola.
Mommy, offer a femo ya ni what?
I should have seen this view. She'll come back right now.
Wait. This woman, I mean, believe ye. Let's go and query her. What query?
Wait, me, I believe so. Wait. Yes, hello.
Yenya problem kakribio.
Hey, problem me.
Papa na ordin your money bano when ya force kakribina.
Fault ben.
Ohia emwa. Sisia de min kiteska me so ameni mobile money inti se obetumi am wano eya na me de usika na ma.
I didn't put in a pano.
Car time na pai.
Ne car tire pie. Into here be assassin.
Ohia be se 200 cedis.
200 cedis. Oh, yeah, patch me by my frog.
No, but you to Ghana. That's the poor sister. What they one city can't amount to.
Let's read the question.
Query her. Charlie.
Hello. Patrol say me auntie Ben si fan your money brem Caruana.
Aye.
Na se first was Belinda.
Dabi ne kalu.
And also fan your money brem me.
Aye.
Patrol me din the same.
Madam, your man no pe anase wompe.
Odi aye me pen your money bi keep him.
Oh, aden.
Oh, keep him. Unko answers 25 different. Aden. Hello. Aisha.
Hello. Hey, me favor. Hey, Charlie. Carlos Gade. Be smart. Use Oyicho. Don't become a victim of mobile money fraud. Stay safe.
You are still watching the Chamber Dialogue on the Ghana Chamber of Telecommunications channel on Facebook and YouTube. If you're on Twitter Spaces as well, you are hearing us. The first conversation we had was on SIM swap, the SIM swap scam. Basically, you need to protect yourself. Protect your data one. If you realize that your network is off, make sure that you call 100 call the networks to report same. And if there's some funny activity, you're getting a lot of calls from people you do not know, make sure you also call the network to report same. You never know, you could be saving yourself or saving some valuable property of yours. Now, we're going to move to our next conversation, and we are talking about other fraud types. SIM swap itself constitutes a type of fraud or scam, but there are other fraud types that are worryingly coming up within the system. And we want to talk to a fraud analyst from Airtel Tigo, Mr. Masood Turi Abdul Razak. Boss, welcome to the Chamber Dialogue.
Thank you.
Nice one. You're looking sharp, boss.
Thanks.
Nice one. So we'll just get straight into it. For you, when you watch, I'm sure you've been monitoring the fraud, landscape for a while from where you sit. Yeah. Would you say that the situation is improving when it comes to fraud, or the fraudsters are coming up with new ways to defraud Ghanaians?
So basically, I would say it's actually improving, but the same way it's increasing too.
How is that possible?
Yes, fraud is very dynamic. Especially fraudsters, they always come up with new ways to do things. Yeah. So talking about current evolutions, we are looking at IRSF, International Revenue Sharing Fraud. So this you realize.
Sorry. Could you please break it down for us?
Sure. So for this kind of fraud, you come and then you realize you have a missed call. Which is an international number, usually from strange destinations or originations, rather, originations. So you'll be tempted to call back. Once you call back, they are going to drain your airtime.
So I normally will get a call from, is it Cape Verde? Or,
exactly. Nicaragua and those funny countries.
Numbers. Yeah. So I don't even want you to get into the types now, but when you scan the landscape, the telecommunications landscape, do you think that, people, because we've been doing a lot of education.
Yeah.
Airtel Tigo, from where you come from, a lot of education. MTN is doing a lot of, Vodafone is doing a lot of education. What is it? Is it that the industry needs to do more, or people are just not paying attention?
So for that, I won't say people are not paying attention. People might be paying attention, but maybe they are not involving their wards and aged, maybe they're illiterate. So maybe most of these educations we do are too formal.
For the people in the suits.
Exactly. So what of our mothers in the markets who are not aware of such situations? Yeah, we need to go down to their levels also. And then we, the ones in suits, when we get such information, we should also just share such information with our wards and the aged.
Yes.
Others.
The vulnerable.
Exactly.
Okay, now, the audience is sitting at home, some in their offices watching, asking, what are the fraud types they need to be aware of? And break it down for us. Walk us through them. You mentioned the first one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So another worrying one is social engineering. So for this, you realize you'll be there, and then a strange number will be calling or call you. Pretending to be someone you know, or pretending to be from maybe Airtel Tigo or MTN, Vodafone, whichever. And then the person tries to lure you for some information. I think first thing, what I would advise you to do is, once you identify such calls, such persons, you just have to hang up. That's the first thing to do. Hang up. You have designated lines from those particular MNOs. You can, or if it's a bank, they have designated lines. You can immediately call those lines to find out if the information that person is seeking is actually true or not.
But Mama Sue, my auntie got a call, because these days what people do is that once they get your number, they can try sending you mobile money, see your name, and then they call you and they mention your name. Masood, how are you? Masood, I sent you 1,000 and you're not giving it to me. If you don't give me the money, what will happen to you? My God will come after you.
Exactly.
Like, it's a social engineering.
Yeah.
So even though the number might not be coming from an MNO like Airtel Tigo, Vodafone, they make the story so convincing. Like the adverts we played from the chamber.
Yeah.
Someone calling from London saying they are your auntie. So in those instances where the story is so convincing as Ghanaians, what happens?
I think basically, just as I said, the education is very key. Yes, people are vulnerable. these people come in hard on you, trying to get information. So you need to maintain your posture, hang up the call, seek, or okay, for that person, let's say the person has no information about this, or the person has no education on such situations. But the best thing is not to give out any information.
If anybody calls you, you don't know them.
You don't know them.
Hang up. Anybody calls
That's
you,
the
you don't
first
know them,
line of defense.
Hang up.
Exactly.
Don't stay on. Hang up. Okay.
Yes. Once you hang up, the next line of defense is to report such situations to authorized numbers, just as we said. Or maybe if the person is an illiterate and then has no information about this, the person can seek advice from a relative or maybe a friend. Exactly.
Now, regularly, are we seeing more people falling victim to this? Are the service centers being inundated with calls of someone has defrauded me?
Yes, we do receive. Yes, exactly. Because just as I said earlier, these people always come up with different ways. So you might educate. So that's why in educations like this, such forums, when we are educating, we don't limit the scenarios to a particular one. We make it very open so that you can. So whenever you find yourself in such situations, you need to think smart. Those people are very smart, but you have to be smarter. Yes.
So speaking of the instance, is it the IRS? Is that what you
IRSF? That's International
IRSF.
Revenue.
All right. We've also spoken of
social engineering,
where people might call you acting like they know you. Which other ones are there that we should be very mindful?
So we also have the SMS spam and then the OTP pin. Sometimes just as and then account hijack. So let's say WhatsApp. You'll be there and then someone will just call you and say, I just, maybe you've received a pin. I'm calling from, so it just works just as the way the social engineering works. They call you, try to lure you to give them, they've generated a pin, but because you've received the pin, you assume probably the person is working from that MNO. Yes, exactly. That's why the person was able to trigger that message to you, not knowing the person is doing his own thing in his scanner. Yes. So we mentioned earlier, don't give out any information. Although you've received the pin, why can't you do it? Something you've not initiated yourself. Why will you share the pin out? You shouldn't. So at that point, you just hang up the call. Report that to the relevant agencies. We have a short code 419. You can equally report such numbers for us to take actions. Yeah, so we monitor their activities on the network and then we take punitive actions towards them.
Wow, I mean, from where you sit, every single day when you wake up and you're going to work, are you like particularly concerned, like Ghanaians are falling prey to these emerging fraud types? I mean, what goes through your mind as a fraud analyst?
Yes, it's very worrisome because seeing people complaining here and there, but we always try to find ways to prevent such situations, but it's a bit complex. Yeah, as we do our best, they are also improving their situations. Yeah.
Okay, so you mentioned SMS and OTP.
Yes.
Which one are we left with?
Yes. So basically, we are left with a bypass fraud.
No, the OTP. I don't think we dealt with the OTP.
The OTP was the one I mentioned that they request, so they send you a one-time PIN, which they call you and then lure you to give out that PIN for them to access. They can use that PIN to access your WhatsApp or social media.
Yes. Here, I'll get a call.
Yes.
And what exactly are they going to say?
So maybe you'll be there and then you receive a notification. You get a one-time PIN, maybe a 4-digit PIN. Then immediately someone will call you. You've not initiated anything from the do not. With that, once he already has your WhatsApp number, so he will try accessing your WhatsApp from there, and then they will request for the OTP PIN. So once you give him that PIN, he's able to quickly access your WhatsApp account, ending up hijacking your account. Because So there are two things. You either not give the information, but sometimes you might be a bit vulnerable, hand over the information before you realize you made a mistake. Yeah. So at that point, immediately you realize you have to quickly go back, log in, do some changes to the account to make sure you secure your account immediately.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. I mean, that's
Yes,
public.
yes, exactly. We have the double PIN, double verification, two-factor verification. Sorry. Yes, I think that will also help because although the person will have the PIN, but a verification will come to the initial login phone for the person to verify. So once you don't verify the second part, the person can't have access to your WhatsApp.
Your WhatsApp
or social media platform.
What about the text one?
Yeah. So also for SMS, so we have fraudsters who also spam people. So they send the broadcast informations, trying to lure people to. So they even with the scenarios of the IRSF, they can even send you a text message and say, "Please call me back." It's a foreign number. These are high premium rates numbers. So once you call, just a minute call can cost you more than 50 cedis a time. So immediately you call, deduct you such amount, and then they have a way of sharing such revenues from together with the carriers.
Wow. So the numbers I sometimes get from Dubai.
Yes.
Because you're sometimes tempted because you're like, well, maybe it's a relative out there who's about to send you some pounds or some,
that's where
dollars or something.
That's where you have to be vigilant. You have to know that if it's a relative, you definitely try calling the second time, and then the person won't just. Usually, some phones will tell you how long the call will ring, the call rang. So when you meet a 3-second call, why should you call back? The person didn't call. The person only flashed.
But sometimes, correct me if I'm wrong, but sometimes they call. They don't just call once. They call twice, thrice, multiple times.
But those people avoid cost because they call in multiple numbers. Because they what they do is they target a particular network, and then spoofing calls. Avoiding, so they make sure they hang up before the people pick up. So once you see any short duration call, you need to be very careful. You don't even have to call back.
Okay.
Yeah, it's most likely to be these people.
Wow.
But once you have the opportunity to answer the call, answer and then know whether it's coming from a genuine source or not. If not, then. But once you answer, no one speaks, then you don't need to call back. Okay. Wait for the person to rather call back. If it's a genuine person, the person will do.
So you've run through a list of the current fraud types.
Yeah.
You know, from the social engineering to the calls from international numbers to issues of OTPs and the likes. Are there any other ones we need to be mindful of? Any other ones that our mothers, our sisters, our brothers, how they should be mindful of?
Yes. So I think also one thing I would like to tell our fellows out there is that they have to be mindful of the kind of information they put online.
How do you explain?
Yes. So basically, it's not that any information that you put online. So someone today I'm here.
Yes.
I post that I'm here. In the next few minutes, I move to another location. Then it's on my Snapchat.
Yeah.
People read your movement. You don't know who is after you. So you have to be very mindful. And then even posting something like your pictures of your ID card. Maybe you were just taking a picture of your desk, not knowing your ID card was on your desk. Taking that picture, posting it on the social media, fraudsters are out there. It becomes vulnerable to them. And then they can have access to your personal information with which they can use to perpetrate fraud.
Suppose it's TikTok era, it's Snapchat era, let me, post my location. I've been to a nice restaurant. Let me post it.
It's fine, but don't do it too much.
Wow. I'm sure that a lot of people listening will be like, nah, this one doesn't,
Yeah, we all do it once in a while, but you have to know when to do it.
Okay.
And then you should be very sure of what you are putting out there, not just everything.
So you've hinted throughout this course of this interview of what people should do to protect themselves. I mean, you've given hints, but let's now delve into it, specifically. So now for the people who are watching, you've spoken of being vigilant and not sharing information.
Yeah.
In a chronological order, outside of being vigilant, outside of not posting, too much sensitive information out there,
Yeah.
outside of, calling the the MNOs in case you realize that some kind of fraud is going to be perpetrated. Are there any other thing that people should be doing more of to protect themselves from different types of fraud?
Yes. So I think one key platform people are using also are WhatsApp groups. Yes. So it's best if you go to your settings and then you set whoever can add you to a particular group. Yes. So these people they can create any group, get some numbers, add them, and then they put in phishing links. So it's not just any link you see online that you have to click. Yes. So especially links that run on the HTTP without the S.
Yeah.
Yes. The S signifies secure, which makes the website secured for browsing. But once there is no S and then you end up browsing on such a network, you are making your information vulnerable.
So let's stay on that. So another key means, like you said, these days everyone has a WhatsApp number.
Yeah.
We have close to 14 million voice SIMs out there.
Yeah.
The number of data could equally be the same. Yeah. People are linking their WhatsApp on their phone to their laptop and the likes. Now, what you're saying is that every once in a while, you realize that someone would add you to a group that you don't know anything about. And you might see a name so you might think, okay, it's a credible group. But what you're saying is that if you do not know and someone adds you, is it better to exit?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think that would be the best thing to do. You better exit, or if not, you can quickly call the person who added you to find out the reason why you are there. And if you deem it feasible, why not? You can stay in there. But if not, you quickly exit.
Now, as an industry, do you, from where you sit, I know, like you said, in silos, the industry is doing its part. MTN is educating its customers, Airtel is educating its customers, Vodafone is also doing the same.
Yeah.
I mean, as a chamber and as an advocacy, group for the industry, we are also doing our part. That's why we brought you here. I mean, do you think there's more that can be done to make sure that people are better aware of the fraud types and also ways to protect themselves?
Yes, so I think basically the chamber and the MNOs are doing their best, but it's up to we, the individuals, to also take proper measures to protect ourselves. Yeah, so just as I said earlier, know the website you are browsing on, know the information you are putting online. Make sure the passwords you are using are very complex. Don't be using incremental numbers or your pet's name, your surname, your favorite uncle's name. All those things are very
with numbers, upper cases,
exactly with
lower cases.
Yes, so make it very complex. You can add the hashtags and all that, or other characters. Yes, exactly. And then also one thing you can also do is to how do we call this? So
I mean, for me, what I realize is that even as people, not just adults are falling victim to fraud schemes, but also the young ones who are these days using their parents' phones or the phones that have been bought for them. Even businesses are also falling victim. So it's important that, like you're saying, vigilance across board. If you have a child that you've given a phone to, you need to be vigilant. You need to put some, I think, parental locks on their systems on there so that they are not, preyed on by fraudsters.
That's true. That's very true. Because you could be out and then maybe your phone is in there. Sometimes I don't know if you allow your wards to answer your calls, but a fraudster could call in your absence. The person answers, and then he says, "I just sent a particular pin to or where's your mother? My mother is not home. I just sent your mother just told me to send a pin to your phone. Yeah. Kindly go and send me the pin or mention the pin for me to give to your mother or something." Your ward will do that. The person will quickly do that. So it's always best to educate such vulnerable people. Education. So I think those people, the best way we can help them is the general public. The best way to help them is to educate. So we shouldn't limit the education in the formal way. We should go down.
Go to the villages and rural areas and all of that.
Yes.
But I mean, as end users, vigilance is the word. You need to be vigilant. If you have the information, make sure you also educate your parents who might not be, as educated. Your kids, vigilance is the word. Make sure everyone around you is educated, because, like I said, the weakest link can be the means by which they can reach you and destroy you, your business, or
exactly
your company or whatever you have.
Yes.
Any final words for us, Masood?
Yeah. So I think for the what's the name, MNOs also, the fraudsters currently, talking of I think the general public might not know this, but this is specifically for the MNOs. Yeah. So the SIM-box fraud, the fraudsters are now taking advantage of the roaming business. Yeah. So they are exploring such fields, which I'm putting across. Maybe we should be very careful.
As an industry,
yes, exactly.
We need to do a lot more
analysis to understand how they are perpetrating such frauds.
Wow.
Yes.
If you're a fraudster and you're out there, watch out. Masood, the Ghana Police Service, the Chamber, and our stakeholders, we're working together, and we will come after you. So make sure if you're thinking of perpetrating some type of fraud, desist from it. Well, it has been an exciting conversation. Masood Abdulaziz Toure, Abdulrazak Toure, fraud analyst with Airtel Tigo, has been helping us appreciate, the evolving trends of fraud, the different types that are happening out there, and reminding us, let's be careful, let's safeguard our information, let's not be putting everything out there. And if people are calling us from different countries that we do not know anything about, make sure you do not pick such calls. The key thing lies with you. The information can be put out there, but you need to take some action and take some ownership and responsibility when it comes to protecting yourself, protecting your business, and protecting your family. Thank you so much. My name is Obiose, and this has been another edition of the Chamber Dialogue on the Facebook and YouTube channels of the Ghana Chamber of Telecommunications. We'll come your way another time with another interesting topic that would help you better exist within the telecommunications ecosystem, because for us our objective is to make sure that we basically build an industry that is trustworthy by you. Yes, so many thanks for joining us, and much appreciation for my first guest, Anthony Techi from MTN. So do enjoy your day, and make sure that you keep monitoring the social media handles of the Ghana Chamber of Telecommunications on Twitter, on Facebook, on YouTube, wherever. And then if you can, also make sure you participate in the delinking exercise that is currently ongoing, *402*1# to make sure that you delink any unwanted SIMs linked to your Ghana card. Do enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you.
Fellow Ghanaians, to easily check the number of SIM cards registered to your Ghana card, please use the shortcode *402*1#. You can follow the following steps to find out how many SIM cards are registered to your Ghana card. Step 1. Dial the shortcode *402*1# on any network. Step 2. Enter your Ghana card PIN. Make sure you enter letters and figures without any spaces or hyphens for verification, just like this. Step 3. Make sure you enter your date of birth in numbers with the day followed by the month and the year you were born in without any spaces or hyphen for verification, just like this. Step 4. Once verified, you will receive an SMS with a list of mobile numbers linked to your Ghana card, including the corresponding networks. Now, if you identify any unknown mobile number or numbers linked to your Ghana card, please visit the service center or retail shop of your service provider for a delinking of the number or numbers. For more information, call 100 on all networks or NCA on 0800 110 622. Remember to register your SIM cards before the 31st of May 2023 to avoid being deactivated from your network. This message is brought to you by the Ghana Chamber of Telecommunications with information provided by the NCA.
Your friend Kwesi Isaac, we were London market. Me ye ejuma me sasa bidie na ebro. Me ye ebro waka mu bidie waka mu. Na me use phone. Phone na me use no de ye ejuma pa. Ai na nkrofo hia me a o mo de frefre me. Ye tumi frem wo Tema station. Nungwa tashi labadi achimota me koyi load. Ejuma me ye no obi a hia me a o frefre me e wo phone so. Nti me phone ya ade bia me nkonja no ebu kura me niska kura me tumi tiwa na matare me phone e bele ma pick ya na Kwesi Isaac ejuma be pio achimoto na ma fla boys na me no me yejo no na yakoyi yekoyi kura na se wenye skin twa ya kakura ye betumi aba obetumi da send mo mobile money mobile phone help me wa
I don't sit up, I don't sit.
Your friend Kwesi Isaac, we were London market. Me ye ejuma me sasa bidie na ebro. Me ye ebro waka mu bidie waka mu. Na me use phone. Phone na me use no de ye ejuma pa. Ai na nkrofo hia me a o mo de frefre me. Ye tumi frem wo Tema station. Nungwa tashi labadi achimota me koyi load. Ejuma me ye no obi a hia me a o frefre me e wo phone so. Nti me phone ya ade bia me nkonja no ebu kura me niska kura me tumi tiwa na matare me phone e bele ma pick ya na Kwesi Isaac ejuma be pio achimoto na ma fla boys na me no me yejo no na yakoyi yekoyi kura na se wenye skin twa ya kakura ye betumi aba obetumi da send mo mobile money mobile phone help me wa